Hello, everyone. There we go. This is, of course, Benjamin over at the Heterodox Vigor channel. This is a special episode of Heterodox Vigor where, at the request of one of my great friends who's actually more well-read than I am, great link to Moldbug there, who is also hugely more well-read than I am, both of these guys. I've read a lot deeply onto things that interest me, especially online. These guys have gotten into a lot of paperbacks and hardbacks, especially from a long time ago. So, like I said, Moldbug here, also known as Curtis Yarvin, currently is writing over at Gray Mirror at Substack. But in the past, he was writing at Unqualified Reservations blog, and that is now all archived over at unqualifiedreservations.org. That what inspired the title of the video is actually one of his Gray Mirror posts, Gentle Introduction to the Cathedral. But that was very reminiscent of one of my other favorite names of his, which there was a series that he wrote called An Open Letter to Open-Minded Progressives. And again, to give you an idea about how much is in there when you put all the parts together, 336 pages for that. A gentle introduction to Unqualified Reservations by Mencius Moldbug, 274 pages. How Dawkins Got Pawned by Mencius Moldbug, 106. That's actually one of my favorite entry points right there. Moldbug on Carlisle. Again, if my buddy that requested the video, I seem to recall you might be interested in such things. Moldbug on Carlisle, 82 pages. Patchwork, A Political System for the 21st Century, 62 pages. Really only go there if you're a futurist, in my opinion. A Formalist Manifesto by Mencius Moldbug. Again, go there if you really care about political theory. Technology, Communism, and the Brown Scare, 29 pages. Great stuff. Sam Altman is Not a Blithering Idiot. Great stuff. So, anyways, point being, that is plus his that's where he's written. So, why do I like him? Why do I care? Well, again, his idea of the cathedral was so spot on. And it's not just like he pattern matched, oh, this is kind of like a religion. No, what he actually did is that he tracked back the history of these ideas to where you can see that it's essentially Protestantism, like super Protestantism. It's like almost like Quakerism or the Shakers. These old groups. The thing is, these groups keep getting selected against. It's something about telling people it's like bad to have kids or do things that result in kids. Like then there's no kids, and then you have to rely on recruiting other people's kids. Oh crap, this is sounding really familiar. Anyways, we'll move right on from that one. But the point being, yeah, yeah, like basically it is those sorts of ideas like of religion but without God. And that's the thing, is that that's a no from me, dog, right? My thing, I'm a panentheist personally, and no, I'm all down with God without religion. But if you're gonna have a religion, God's definitely gonna be in there. So I'm pretty much at odds with these people. And that's the thing, is that like I also just, because it's my channel, I'm gonna make a slight rabbit trail here. Listen, I credit to Slavoj Žižek for calling this out. Huge agree. Might have a slightly different formulation than he does. But people say if God is dead, then everything is permitted. And no. It's if God is dead, nothing is permitted because there's no one there to issue the permits, right? And so often I used to criticize people like Sam Harris for believing and obsessing over an empty throne of the universe. Like the throne has to be there and it has to be empty. You know what I mean? Like this idea that, oh, but see, like morality sits there in the throne without a deity, without a creator, without a telos, without a logos or a telos, then somehow or another the the arc of justice through history. Yeah, okay, whatever. Anyways, no. So back to the main point here, which is that Moldbug tracks that stuff back, but more the point, he can point to where we're at right now and how it doesn't make sense. And the further back we go, the more it makes sense because we see that there have been these ideas that are privileged because they're the inside ideas, and that the system has been working so far on the principle of an inner and an outer party, where, as at least since like FDR, then at FDR, the Democrats are definitely the inner party. They are the party of Washington D.C. and all that, right? And now, of course, you have the outer party, the Republicans. Their job was to compete in the elections and to keep anybody other than Democrats or themselves from ever winning elections. And so once they were there, they were very ineffective. They would either pursue policies that were too far from what the Democrats wanted to where there was just no chance it was going to happen, or they would pursue, quote, bipartisan policies that were always, seemingly terrible to people like us. But what you've got to realize is that if your bread is buttered by the government, then your measurement of what's good and bad might be slightly different. And so these people who have been raised to think that it's like their heritage to run the government and tax us for it. Yeah. So, anyways, it's very interesting going over these ideas when things are kind of shifting underneath our feet on that regard. So I look forward to possible changes as we move forward, which brings us to an interesting side point. Moldbug is an anti-revolutionary for sure. Like he basically wants everybody to put someone into power who understands the truths of leaky power bad. Like if divided power sounds good until you realize that divides the accountability. And once you divide the accountability too much, you can always blame the other guy. Oh wait, did I say guy? If there's one of them, what if there's 20 of you? Which of the 20 of you is responsible when you each only had a 1 in 20 influence on oh yeah, you're getting it. So the whole point is it's to launder power, right? And so Moldbug explores the laundering of power extensively. um, he explores, again, going back to the roots, the religious roots of what has become like a religion without God. um, and again, Moldbug is not a religious person in any way, shape, or form. But again, it's just he again and again just he there's the people that tell you versus show you. He shows you. He can coyly like say, hey, might we expect to see this? Let's see what the people writing at the time said. And then they say something that makes you just go, ooh, yes, yes, right. And that's the thing, is that that excitement of like, oh wow, that you found that, and you set up that point so well, and like boom, right? That's why I love reading Moldbug. So, like I said, besides the cathedral, he also has, some very strong things to say about stuff like neoformalism, basically like saying what you mean and then doing what you say consistently, and like not, and it takes power to do that, because again, the problem is if you're trying to like win votes, you might need to like not be out loud about certain things that you feel like you have to do if you are relentlessly pursuing power. And so, why would you leave those options on the table if you're putting your pursuit of power over, I don't know, say ethical considerations of a short term? Because you know that in the long term, you being in power will be much, will pay for itself ethically for whatever it takes to get you there. And I say this, I would believe that. Notice how I'm not pursuing it, because I don't think there's a good path right now. But I'm just saying, like, I don't disagree with that logic, in the sense that if short term I had to put up with some things that I wouldn't normally put up with, because in the long term it was going to make the world a world a better place in a way that hugely justified whatever short term thing I wasn't excited about. You have to make those judgment calls in life. That's just how that goes. Anyways, um, but I think, oh, also Moldbug has some very important things to say about fungibility of money and time. He has huge criticisms that are worth looking into. He's more or less Austrian school, but he very specifically criticizes practices around lending dollars, as though a dollar in this year will be worth a dollar in some other year. And, he has a point. The question is, what do you do with that point? And so far, I'm not convinced that there's anything other than having insight on his insights there. But it is interesting stuff. Um, but again, I definitely. Oh yeah, and one more again. I don't think I've mentioned it. Um, why I'm not a libertarian was a great piece, and I've linked it a number of times to various people. Um, it's not what you think it is. Go read it. If you're curious. If you're not curious, like, I don't blame you. Anyways, thank you for your time. Hopefully I've convinced you to go read some unqualifiedreservations.org or Gray Mirror on Substack, to hear from Moldbug Curtis Yarvin. And again, thanks for your time. I'll see you guys around. Take care.